2024 has been an awesome year for 5x5 hardware. Three great 5x5s have been released: the X-Man Hong, GAN 562, and Moyu Aochuang V6. Each of these cubes is far better than any cube released before this year, leaving many good hardware options for cubers looking to get into 5x5. However, the close competition leaves many people wondering which cube is actually the best going into 2025. Today, I will attempt to answer that question by providing information about each cube and giving my recommendations for which 5x5 I think is best. These are just my opinions, but I hope this will be a good resource to help people decide which option is for them. Let's get started. Let's start with the X-Men Hong. The Hong is Qi's newest 5x5 release. Coming in at 61mm, this cube is compact, very controllable, and has nice outer layers. The magnet strength is quite moderate on the outer layers, but is noticeably stronger on the inner layers, helping it maintain its cube shape very well. This cube was the first mass-produced 5x5 to have a ball core, and it only comes in stickerless plastic with UV coating and retails for $50 US. Next is the GAN 562. This cube comes in at 62mm and has a very light, crisp, and airy feel. The inner layers are about as fast as the outers, which gives it a very consistent feeling throughout the course of a solve. For outer textures, GAN gives you two options: a matte surface for $59 or a UV coated surface for $68. The UV coating is done extremely well, and I think GAN does this coating the best out of the three cubes. The matte plastic also rubs down and goes away after many solves. This cube also comes with a magnetic core, helping keep its stability while maintaining its high speed. Functionally, both versions are the same, so only choice to be made will result from preferences for a different outer texture. Finally, we have the Moyu Aochuang V6. At 60.5mm, this cube is the smallest of the three and is very crunchy, fast, and maintains its controllability. Moyu gives us many options for this cube. They include the single track version with no UV surface for $23, the single track version with UV coating for $30, the double track version with UV coating for $55, and a triple track version with UV coating for $62. These versions only vary in magnetic positioning. The single track versions have traditional 5x5 wing corner magnetization, the double track version has an additional ball core, and the triple track version has an additional ring of magnets at the base of the wings along the inner layers. The cube featured in this video is the double track version, as I think it is the best option of the four if you're going strictly for performance. Of the three cubes, my least favorite is the X-Man Hong. It is very smooth and compact, which are good qualities, but the reason is due to the speed and consistency between the inners and outer layers. The outer layers are great, making 3x3 stage really nice to do on this cube. However, the inner layers are very slow in comparison and catch quite a bit more. Sometimes making combinations of inner and outer layer turns are a bit rough. To resolve this issue, many people perform a Dorito mod on the inner layers to reduce their friction. Overall, this is the slowest and has the most 5x5 style lockups out of the three cubes. While doing solves for this video, my times were noticeably worse on this cube, and I just don't think there is a reason to get this unless you've tried all three and prefer the Hong the most, or if you really like cubes on the slower and more controllable end. This leaves me with the 562 and the Aochuang V6. You really can't go wrong with either cube. If you're going for the best performance, I highly recommend the GAN 562 to most people. The GAN is the fastest and the lightest turning, which I think most people will enjoy. This is also the only cube of the three where I'd say the inners feel as good as the outers. Many big cubes struggle with the issue of the inner layers locking in place if they are lubed a decent amount, requiring much more effort to start an inner layer turn. The GAN is the only cube to not have this issue at all, making all parts of the reduction stage feel great. This is also a great cube in competition. My experience competing with it officially has been awesome, as I am able to turn as fast as I want and not have to worry about the cube deforming or popping on me, leading to my best results. My only gripes would be the out-of-the-box feeling and the setup process. This cube is horribly slow out of the box and is an absolute nightmare to disassemble and set up due to the inner 3x3 mechanism. This cube also eats lube, meaning that you would have to re-lube it frequently depending on how much you use it. With all of that in mind, I think the GAN 562 is the best overall pick for most people watching this video. With that said, I main the Aochuang V6. Between this and the GAN, it really comes down to personal preference. I just really like the size and feel of the cube, as it makes longer sessions feel much easier on my hands, as the GAN often feels too big for me. The speed of this cube is in between the GAN and the Hong, being closer to the GAN. The little sacrifice in speed is made up through its naturally more controllable build than the GAN, making my solves flow very nicely on it. Pops and lockups almost never happen on this cube, and is overall very reliable as well. My only caution would be to be careful when lubing the inner layers with something heavy, as this may lead to the stickiness of the inners that I mentioned earlier. Other than that, this cube is very solid, and I broke all my personal bests with it, including my first ever sub 50 average of 5. If you are willing to do a bit of modding, my recommendation for best value would be to get a single track V6 and either 3D print or purchase a magnetic core for this cube to install, as a $25 upcharge for corner core magnets is very steep. The V6 is overall my favorite of the three, and I highly recommend it. In summary, you really can't go wrong with any cube featured in this video. There really is no bad option, as all three cubes are competitively viable, and you can get great results. With that said, my favorite of the three cubes is the double-track Moyu Aochuang V6. My best recommendation for performance is either version of the GAN 562, and my budget recommendation is the single-track Aochuang V6. I hope all of you found this comparison helpful, and feel free to leave any questions in the comments section. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.